Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So I had several questions from viewers about these old CRT TVs. In particular, do the TVs that have the VHS slot have better scrap material in them? As well as how do I strip the degauss cable? So I'm gonna address those 2 points today and other components. I love CRT TVs as well as those old computer monitors. These are 100% scrappable. I can bring these in whole to a scrapyard and get electronic weight price, which is about 5 cents a pound. This large one here actually weighs about 55 pounds. This one, even though it is small, still weighs about 15 to 20 pounds. So that is an excellent item if you do not want to do any of the work. You will find these often on garbage day. People are getting rid of these. They are, becoming obsolete. People are getting the flat screens. So that is definitely a great thing at 5 cents a pound. However, I have often said these are a great item to open up. They always have a beautiful copper yoke inside of them, or the yokes are a beautiful number 2 copper, as well as other items on your circuit boards. And the degauss cable that you will see. This cable is the one my dad, for some reason, it always eludes him. But these ones, if you are lucky and you open them up, they can be a beautiful copper inside. If I was to open this and reveal a metallic look, that would mean that these are aluminum windings. And I will not go ahead and strip those if they're aluminum. But because these are copper, this is number 2 copper. And currently right now in London, Ontario, number 2 copper is going for $4.43 a pound. If I was to leave this as is, this would give me what we call 60% appliance weight price. And I would get about $2.10 a pound. So in my opinion, very easy to take apart, strip, and that's what I am going to show in this video. I am just going to quickly open this one for the sake of this video. I have already removed the backing. So again, even though this is plastic, once I remove my goodies out of here, I am just going to close it back up and bring the rest of this into the scrapyard and get the remainder of the weight price. So going to start, before I even tamper with this, I do have to take my cord that goes from the tube to the circuit board in order to alleviate or potentially reduce any type of shock. I have to make sure I cut it. I always used rubberized handles, but now that it is cut, it is safe to handle. Okay, and this one actually has several different circuit boards, a little bit different from this big one, which has just one main circuit board. And I actually do have it right here. So this circuit board came from this one. Very nice circuit board, has some beautiful aluminum heat sinks on it that are going to give me some extrusion. There is going to be a lot of different wires here, a couple relay boxes, a couple transformers. This transformer you can see has a really nice coil of number 2 copper, and I will open those. For those that are into micro scrapping, there are also some different ceramic capacitors. And given the age of these are going to probably have your precious metals in them. There are some heat sinks on here that are magnetic, like this one. So the ones that are magnetic are going to go into my tin pile. The rest of this, once I take the goodies off, I can still throw this into my e-waste pile. You do want to check with your scrapyards. Some scrapyards will rank your circuit boards from low grade, medium grade, high grade, depending on the precious metals on here. Unfortunately, the place I take it to only gives me one price, which is about 5 cents a pound. So I definitely want to take off my aluminum heat sinks because even the extrusion is going for about $1 a pound, or almost $1 a pound. So definitely a lot better, as well as I said, my little transformers that have the number 2 copper in there, definitely going to be better than my e-waste price. But again, even if I break it apart, smash it, take off the bits, they will still take the rest of this. So 100% scrappable. Okay. Again, this one does have a few different circuit boards, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut some of these wires just so I can start taking it apart. You can see, as I said, a lot of nice wire here that I will address as well. But this little circuit board here, you can see this is going to give me another aluminum heat sink. Okay, clean aluminum. This is not going to be extrusion. The rule with extrusion, difference with this, for example, this is a larger heat sink off of another item, okay? Extrusion is a form of aluminum that looks like it's been put through a press. So obviously this is extrusion, and this is going to be painted extrusion, so it is about 2 cents less than clean extrusion. But because this is just, you know, looks like just a stamped piece of aluminum, this would just be clean sheet aluminum, if you will, and this is still going for about 45 cents a pound. There is a couple spools of copper down there you can see, and as well, you do have some really nice wires. These wires as is, I was just actually told by my dad that you can bring these wires in and you can get brass, dirty brass price. So if I was to bring this in and just cut this wire like this, because there is brass in here, this is going to give me about 17 cents a pound, okay? The wire here, I will cut as close as I can to this. This wire, because it is all single strand, individually coated, this is also going to give me my 60% appliance weight price. So I definitely want to sort those. Some people will break these open and take out the brass, the clean brass prongs in there. For me, it's not worth it, but that clean brass will give you brass price is about $3.50 a pound. I will take, for example, the plug ends, for example, off of my wire. So this is obviously the appliance wire that plugs into the wall. These plugs I will take and I just break them off just like this, bend them, okay, and I will just kind of fold them, snap them, okay, as you can see, there it is. So this I will actually throw into my brass. Some people will leave them on for the weight, but the difference between this wire and the wire I just showed you, this would give me lesser value. This would be classified as 40% appliance wire. And the reason that is because you can see two individual strands there, but because it has an outer coating of plastic, the scrapyards will look at plastic and copper ratio and copper recovery. There is more plastic on this because there is 2 layers of plastic. But this is still going to give me at 40% appliance weight price, $1.20 a pound. So it's definitely a great price still, but I want to make sure I separate it because the 60% is obviously way more profitable. But again, a nice appliance wire here. I have another circuit board back here. This is the circuit board that subscriber or viewer asked me about. Is there anything great on here or different about it? There is definitely a lot more tin, okay? Inside of here, if I open this, again, the circuit board does have some ceramic capacitors, but inside of here, there is a lot of different little wheels and gears, but I'm actually just gonna take this box, and because I only get 5 cents a pound for my e-waste, this box, if I put a magnet to it, it is magnetic. This is going to give me tin price, and where I take this tin, it's about 8 cents a pound. So I'm gonna get way more for the tin than I would for electronic weight price, so I will remove that. In London, Ontario, you can actually get 14 cents a pound right now for tin. So it is definitely a better price there. I am just going to quickly remove a couple of the screws just to show you if there is anything other than that. There is always a couple wheels and gears. The screws that I take off, I do also collect, put them into a container, and I will bring them in as tin as well. Okay, but just gonna remove these couple screws here just to open this box, just to show you a little bit difference. Okay, but some really nice circuit board pieces to it. Okay, there's another one. Gotta make sure you get all the screws. But again, this is a really nice heavy piece of tin that I am gonna bring in and get more for than I would if it was just left intact. So here you go. Inside of there is also right here a small copper motor. That copper motor I will unscrew. I will put this into my copper bearing motor pile. You get about 15 to 30 cents a pound for these. These ones I will not open for the copper spool, but as you can see, I do have right here on the side, I collect all of my copper motors. Okay, there you go, these little ones. And this one I will actually just unravel the string, but these unopened ones, I leave them and I will get the 15 cents a pound. In my opinion, not worth the time to open them for that little bit of copper. So again, better than nothing. I will collect them. I have actually brought a few to school to see if they work because some of my students use them for their little cars for science projects. But again, if they don't work, you can definitely put them on scrap. But again, the only thing in here other than this wheel here, if I put a magnet to that wheel, there is a little bit of attraction. There is obviously going to be some tin on there, some steel. There might be a little bit of stainless steel, but I actually just leave that in there, and I will just take it out just to show you. Again, it's very easy to do. It's just screwed on. Okay, you just got to find the screws. There's two of them. Okay, and it is hard to find the other. There is a little one there. It is right there. You just got to move some stuff around. Be patient. But there is my little spinning wheel, if you will. Okay, and underneath this, once I take this tin box off, I am going to get, obviously, the circuit board underneath. But here is my little, pull that out. There we go. Okay, so this little wheel here, this does have a little bit of stainless steel on it. Where's my magnet? There it is. Okay. But again, for me, not worth opening it. There are a few pins. There will be a small little copper motor in there as well. Just like that one I showed you that had the little green one with the wheel. So there is a little bit of copper in there. So I may even just take that off, open it up, get that little copper motor, and put it into here. And the rest of this obviously is going to go into my tin pile. So a little motor, two motors in there. But other than that, that is going to be the same as this CRT TV. Okay, there is another circuit board. That, again, don't assume that all of this is going to be aluminum. This is aluminum. Beautiful. There is an example of my extrusion. This is, as you can see, magnetic. But same components. Another sheet aluminum, piece of clean aluminum there once I take the screws off. As well as these bolts. These bolts, very important. Those are number 2 copper as well. And I love aluminum heat sinks for that because I will take those off. You can see this thing. This weighs about 9 pounds right now of number 2 pins that always attach to your aluminum heat sinks. So again, that $4.40 a pound, it definitely adds up. There's my smaller yoke here that I have to take off. And my degaussing cable. One thing I want to do, make sure I look at it. I open it. There you go, took to the camera. That is copper as well. So I am right now going to address my last question that goes with degaussing cable. How do I strip it? And I will also include, I have a full teardown of a CRT TV, the copper yokes, how to remove these. So I will include that in my description. But I did want to address the very important question of how do I strip my degaussing cable, okay? And the nice thing is I do have a wire stripper. That is definitely an option, but I find this wire, because they are all single-stranded, there's a lot of strands in here. If I put my cutting deck too low, it will fray some of the copper and will break apart, make it very messy. So I will actually, for this, just use a knife. And what I like to do is I will actually just use a simple block as well as just a straight line. And I will just put it up against something. So I'm just going to put it up against my TV just so I have no movement, okay? I always have safety glasses on. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this strand and I'm just going to line it up along this wall. Okay, and as I said, I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife. As I said, I always have safety glasses on, but just going to put it up against this wall here, and I'm just going to slide it down. Sometimes I have to take 2 passes at it. Okay, I'm going to go further down it. There you go. So, unfortunately, my glasses are getting a little bit fogged up because it's very cold in here, but look at that. Very easy. All I do now is I'm just going to pull this up, make sure I have all the pins, and I just kind of unravel it. So that's all I'm actually going to do. I'm just going to go straight down this. Very simple to do, very easy to do. But again, some beautiful number 2 copper. And I actually did weigh this little one here. This was 9 ounces, okay? There are different sizes. Obviously, the smaller TV here is going to be thinner, but I have pools of this or spools of this because I have about 30 CRT TVs that I've taken or collected over garbage day, so it definitely adds up. So, as I said, very easy to do in my opinion. Again, I just start it again, go further down this block, but you know, it is just tape, if you will, that I am cutting, a lot of tape, okay, and again, very easy to do in my opinion compared to a wire stripper. So again, opening further down, there you go, okay, it took me very little. This is going to be garbage, obviously, but it's just tape, but hopefully an easy and effective way to strip degaussing cable. So you do want to make sure, as I said, before you do it, cut it. It does reveal inside, you can see the copper look from the coil. If I was to cut it again and it revealed aluminum, do not open it. It's not worth it. I will just throw it into my dirty aluminum. I'll still get a little bit of weight price for that, but your copper in our scrappers world is our scrappers gold, and it continues to stay at a high price. And because this is all individual strands, this is number 2 because in order for it to be classified as bare bright or number 1, each strand has to be thicker than 16 gauge, which is the thickness of the lead of a pencil. And clearly these are all thinner, so these are all, as I said, it's gonna be number 2. So please also don't be fooled. There is definitely colors like this that look like bare bright, but again, the scrap yards will look at the thickness of the wire first. So hopefully that answered those questions. As I said, great items. A little bit more on your VHS one, a couple of little copper motors that come off of that. Still gonna close it up once I remove my tin there, get that tin. I'm gonna close the rest of this up, put the backing on, and I will still get the remainder price of this. I'll probably still have about 10 to 15 pounds worth of e-waste here. This one, same thing. I'll get about 35 pounds worth for this TV, so definitely 100% scrappable. Easy items to take apart, and CRT TVs and your big computer monitor boxes are going to be something you commonly find on scrap days. So hopefully that answered those questions. Please continue asking, comment down below. I'll do my best obviously to answer those questions. I appreciate those questions, feedback, and the comments, so thank you very much for that. Again, like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Tin Man out.